There's a podcast that's a wonderful podcast. It's called Homesick for Lubavitch. And over the time that I've been browsing at it, looking at it, listening to part of it, something comes to mind that I share not as a antagonism, but rather as a helpful, hopefully taken as a helpful suggestion. Today's youth in Chabad are looking for truth, emes. Truth, when you say homesick for Lubavitch, homesick for Chabad, we must know are the Chassidim of 200 years in which they gave their life for the Rabbeim, for Chassidus Chabad, and they lived with true Avos Yisrael, and they believed in Torah. And this is my 2 cents, if you may say. Is it homesick for Lubavitch or homesick for self? Regardless of who the particular individuals being interviewed, it's very important for the listeners, for the viewers, to remember that Lubavitch is Darkei Rabbeinu Nisienu. The ways of our Rebbes, our leaders, that's our Messiah, our tradition. Rabbi Yoel Khan, they put out a book, and he named it, I don't know if he gave the name or they named it and he agreed, but Darkei Rabbeinu Nisienu. In the ways of our Rebbes, our Nesiim. Innovation, as the Chassam Sofer says, and he was a Yeke, he wasn't a Lubavitcher, Chodosh Oser Min HaTorah, something new and innovative that contradicts the ways of the Messiah, of the tradition, is Oser Min HaTorah, it's forbidden. I am not in the position of saying what is, what isn't, but as a Lubavitcher or wannabe Lubavitcher, and someone who grew up with these people, these Chassidim of old, and these Mashpiyim, and the Rebbe, it must be made clear that when you have an interviewee who espouses, Chabad, Lubavitch, and at the same time, there's questions about their religiosity, their commitment, and things like that. I'm not saying he shouldn't be interviewed. I'm personally of the opinion he should be interviewed. It's good to hear from everybody. And I think that the interviewer is doing a fantastic job in leading the discussion and questioning. But we need to make sure that what we walk away with is there is a way of homesick for Lubavitch. It's not homesick for self. It's not homesick for my grandiose ideas. Years ago, I wrote a book called The Conversations with the Rebbe. And it was received well, and it was been printed and reprinted, and people have taken from there, and kol hakavod, right? Some of those individuals, or maybe most of those individuals, 14 individuals who I interviewed about their connection to the Rebbe and to Lubavitch, either through correspondence or meeting him personally, lots of them speak about themselves, the yeshes, self. I this and I this, and I can argue, I'm here to talk to your conversations with the Rebbe about, why you're pumping your own horn. Now, of course, that's nature. We always do that. Of course, it's inevitable in a way. But we have to remember that there is Lubavitch and there is non-Lubavitch. And all of the new innovations and all of my own thinking and deep thoughts and everything else, it's nice, but it isn't necessarily Lubavitch. And that's the only thing I share to the especially the new generation, the future generation. You got to stick with the program. If you want to be in this program, and we're not here, we're not throwing anyone out, and we're not ostracizing, we're not doing that. And everyone is welcome, okay? So I think it's a great program, a great podcast. But please be sensitive to homesick for Lubavitch, not homesick for self, not homesick for my own ideas, etc. And with this, we will definitely not just be homesick, but we will be happily fulfilled with Chabad Lubavitch, and we'll go B'darkei Rabbeinu Nisienu with the Messiah, the tradition, as the Rabbeim and Chassidim shared with us and continue to share with us, and we will live this way. Thank you.